Sunday, April 14th, 1912. 4 days after departing Southampton, England, the RMS Titanic was 4 days into her maiden voyage. On board were 2,224 passengers and crew on the largest ship in the world. Titanic was one of 3 Olympic-class ocean liners designed by Thomas Andrews of Holland and Wells. She was 882 feet 9 inches long, 92 feet 6 inches wide, 175 feet tall from the bottom of her keel to the tops of her 4 funnels, and she weighed over 46,000 tons. Before April 14th, the ship had gone for a coal fire. With the fire extinguished now, the coal being moved, Titanic sustains a 2.5 degrees port list. All clear. The sun sets. This is Titanic's last sunset before the disaster strikes. And the ship listing 2.5 degrees to port is pretty normal for a ship to be off balance while at sea. Huge machines that mankind had made. No one was aware of the impending disaster. Trying to do a recording, trying to find audio to sync in because of the headphones on my phone.
Okay, well, I can't guarantee it's going to be playing enough for you to be able to play it.
What do you see? Hard to starboard! Hard to starboard. The helm is hard over, sir.
As Titanic and the iceberg drew closer and closer, Murdoch ran to the wheelhouse and pushed the button to close the watertight doors. 11:40 p.m. Titanic greases against the iceberg. In mid-Atlantic, ripping a 300-foot-long gash in her side. Captain Smith hurried to the bridge to figure out what happened.
Close the watertight doors and stop the engines. Send for the carpenter. Mr. Boxhall, head below decks forward and inspect for damage.
Titanic drifts to a halt. It tracks. How severe was the damage? Coming to a stop.
It's in your email, my darling. I know. Well, I need like.
By this point, the crew was starting to inspect the damage.
Just like something that I can put all the letters that students have written me on cards and stuff.
Steam was now blowing from the funnels. Seawater flooding the boiler rooms.
No, I'm sorry.
Why did you take that down?
I have to take it down at the end of every year.
Why?
I don't know.
What, was that stuff there before you were here?
No, I did all of that at the beginning of the year before you guys started.
Oh.
But I'll do it better next year anyway. I got plans, man.
Here's a position. Water in the forepeak. Numbers 1 and 2 holes. The mailroom and boiler room 6
I was
and
thinking
5.
that should be a documentary.
That means a gash 300 foot long from there
First one it says
to there.
Dr.
Below the waterline.
Yes.
And this
Well,
one just says MLA
The
format.
pumps are keeping the water down in this boiler room, but the first 5 compartments.
So yeah, I don't think they all have to be documented.
well, what's the answer?
I think it's better to vary your sources.
Who's going to sink, Captain?
Oh, no.
So I would look at like Nat Geo or
Can't float.
History.com,
Look.
not
Number
Wikipedia.
3 of her first
She
5
told me
watertight
to use
compartments flooded. She could even float with 4
I
of them.
mean,
You can't float with all five full up.
Yes, but
these watertight bulkheads here only go as high as E deck. The weight of water in the bow is going to pull her down by the head. So
But
you're
you
going to
just
get
gotta
the
be
watertight
careful because
compartment overflowing
people
into the sixth,
edit it
sixth
all
into
the
the
time.
seventh, and so on
And
as she gets
sometimes
lower.
they edit it
It's a
so that it
mathematical
goes
certainty.
wrong.
With that amount of underwater damage, she can't stay afloat. How long will she last? Just trying to work that out now. As far as I can see, she made 14 feet of water in the first 10 minutes after the collision. It's not very fast. She could live another hour and a half. Yes, about that, I think. There must be no panic. No. You'll be careful what you say to the passengers. Of course. How many people are there on board? 2,200 or more. And room in the boats for... how many? 1,200. I don't think the Board of Trade Regulations visualized this situation. Do you?
The Titanic at a standstill. Steam blowing from the funnels. Captain Smith orders the crew to wake the passengers and ready the lifeboats. On the boat deck next to the piano right here, playing the first strands of music. Lifeboats were being swung out and ready for lower. Assembled on the boat deck outside the portside entrance to the grand staircase. By this point, the Cunard liner RMS Carpathia has responded to the distress call and is racing to the scene.
What should be the question that I plan to answer for this?
Well, that's kind of up to you. What I
Up to the no.
mean, what is a lot of where your research is leading you? Yeah, so you could ask, what were the effects of the pandemic? You could ask, was the pandemic as scary as people thought it was? Was the pandemic as damaging as people thought it was or expected it to be? You could ask a lot of questions about the pandemic.
50 million died.
50 million dead, okay, so
I don't know.
maybe you ask the question of how could they have prevented so many people from dying?
Not going to work. Basically.
Can you write a paper on it? It's got to,
It's not a paper. transfer. It's gonna go into a slide.
Okay, so can you do a presentation on it?
Yes.
Okay, because that's the first question. You think of a question and you ask yourself the question, can I do this presentation with it? Can I make the slides around it? How many slides is that going to be?
Presentation part.
This past year has been tough on my.
Okay. So then let's assume it needs to be at least 6. That's a pretty good basic presentation. So you gotta think of the question that you're getting ready to ask, is it something that you can answer in 6 or more slides?
I don't know what that question would be.
Okay.
Because there's not.
Too many. Titanic has 20 minutes left.
There's so many I could answer so quickly.
Yes, but you don't necessarily want one that you can answer quickly as much as you want one that you can answer and make a good presentation of. Do you have any questions that you're like super curious about when it comes to the Titanic? Your innate curiosity. I know it exists.
No,
It exists,
they
Josiah.
died. Yeah, the most interesting thing about the Spanish flu is it didn't came from China.
Okay, so maybe your question is about the origins of the Spanish flu.
Spain came from Spain. They're the only ones that were a neutral country in the war. But the U.S. was not a neutral country in the war.
No.
So they tried to block out all the information about the Spanish flu and stuff. And so they called it the Spanish flu because people over here thought it was from Spain because they were the only ones talking about it.
Okay, so maybe you're right about that. Like the question would be, why is it called the Spanish flu?
Dr. Smith is last seen on the bridge at 2:05 a.m. telling Thomas Andrews, "We cannot stay any longer. She's going." First class smoker.
Like a couple slides on that.
Well, why don't you think about that as like the basis of your question, and then once you get to working on the slides, either me or Miss Kleinschmitz can help you kind of smooth it out.
Okay.
Okay?
Chaos is breaking out on deck. Right. That's it then. It's the end for all of us. It's the end for all. It's every man for himself now. Goodbye, Wallace. Good luck. Goodbye, Wallace. As the band is beginning to separate, Wallace Hartley and there was one last song to play. No. Together. He picked up his violin. one last time. You can't play the hymn. Then I got the Z. Two 12 a.m. The port side of the bridge begins to submerge. Feeling at the end, destroy the end. The last two collapsibles are being thrown off the roof as Titanic begins her final plunge.
Gentlemen, it has been a privilege playing with you tonight.
2:15 a.m. Titanic begins her final plunge to the bottom of the North Atlantic. Crowds of people were now running, so water inundates the Grand Central Staircase on A deck. All hell is breaking loose. Passengers are rushing aft towards the stern, which was rising higher and higher out of the water. Ship's electrical systems start to fade. The foremost of the four funnels was touching the water. Increasing water pressure was compressing its base, starting to cause a buckling. The funnel breaks loose, falling into the Atlantic Ocean. Oh, we have no time. The plunge was in full swing. Titanic was disappearing quickly. Her bow was going under. The ship was buckling.
Perfect wrap up.
Her keel was starting to bend and buckle.
Well, I heard that she was bad, but this is the first time I really experienced it.
Passengers were now as the end draw near.
Is that it just up at 8 p.m. after boys
Passengers were screaming in terror as water floods the grand staircase, as the great glass dome is destroyed. The people in the lifeboats now watch in horror. Bingo, for the past 4.5 days, now slips below the surface, disappearing right before their eyes. The massive propellers were rising. Crowds of people. People on the boats watch as Titanic slowly disappears beneath the surface of the North Atlantic. A loud explosion is heard from the ship's number 2 funnel. And that coal dust was igniting, shooting sparks from the top of the funnel. Titanic cannot stay afloat any longer. She's going quickly. Only noises can be heard from the ship. Ship structure stressing an angle. Trying to get the audience to sync up. By this point, all noises are heard. 2:17 a.m. An unthinkable noise is heard. Titanic splits in half. People in the boats watching horror as the stern heaved itself up for the last time. The people in the boats watching horror as the stern of the Titanic heaves up for the last time.
She should be in there so you can look at Miss Brandon.
The people in the boats now watching terror as the Titanic begins to sink very quickly.
No, she's not here today. This is yesterday. Hi, Ethan.
2:20 a.m. Titanic is gone.
Miss Danowski is in her class now, and Miss Green is in the station.
Rescue does not arrive for another 2 hours and 40 minutes. Actually, for another
Miss
hour.
Danowski's up in her class now.
Titanic
and
took about 2 hours and 40 minutes to sink. Lifeboats everywhere.
That's not up to me. I'm
They're
not your
wrecked
teacher.
at the bottom of the ocean.
This is Jessica Johnson, your first hour teacher. Yes, it is, Ethan. Well, it's because I'm on the phone. You're gonna have to ask the sub if you can go back down for advisory. Okay. Bye.
Titanic is nowhere to be seen. The ship is gone. Survivors. No.
Is there anyone alive out there? Can anyone hear me? Well, keep checking them. Keep looking. Is there anyone alive out there? Can anyone hear me? Down here. I see him. Oh!
People were in the water screaming in terror. The whole world was shocked learning about the disaster that has befallen in the North Atlantic Ocean. At 3:30, a light started to appear in the distance. Rockets started to shoot up in the air, signaled that rescue was on the way.